Every year I try to come up with a project that I can build 100% on my table saw using no other tool. Let me show you what I came up with this year. My project this time is going to be an open top box that I hope will be beautiful and practical. I'm going to get started by ripping my lumber to width. Next up, I'm cross-cutting the stock to length. Note the standoff block to keep the piece from binding between the blade and the fence. I'm going to be joining the corners of my fancy box with box joints. And because the material is 1 3/4 inch thick, these are going to be some substantial cuts. And for that reason, I've chosen to use a dado set. When you change from a standard saw blade to a dado set on a saw stop machine, you also need to change out the safety brake. It just takes a few seconds and is even easier if you read the directions before you try to do it. Just saying. I'm almost ready to start making my box joint cuts on my actual material. As you can see, I've tested the process with this MDF. With that same setup in place, I'm now going to do some test cuts on the actual material. Better safe than sorry. With everything tested and fitting together properly, it's time to make some sawdust. So now I'm almost ready to glue the box together. I have dry fit the pieces and fit it together, and with some encouragement, they do fit. During the dry fit, I numbered the corners so that I wouldn't mess that up when I glued it. Now it's just apply some glue and clamp it up. Box joints in solid wood this thick are a challenge and sometimes require adjustment. Now I'm going to start to add a little bit of shape to the outside of the box. And I can almost hear you saying, why would you do that now after you've already glued it up? Well, I'm using this Cove Cutting jig from Rockler, and I think you'll see why in just a second. It's time to shape the sides of the boxes with a large cove cut. The reason I chose to form this shape after the glue up is that it makes the shaping of the long box joints less likely to tear out. Okay, this looks good. Now, I'm just going to keep raising the height of the cutter until I get the shape that I want. With the coves cut, I'm going to complete the shaping of the sides with a standard saw blade. We have a drawing that you can download that shows the construction of the box and the shapes we decided to form into the side. To complete the shaping of the box, I'm going to slice a 20-degree angle at the bottom edge of the box and a 45-degree angle on the top edge of the box. And I'm going to use a miter gauge to help me push the box through the cut to avoid kickback. The bottom of the box is going to be made from this half-inch thick piece of solid walnut. And I'm going to do all of the machining steps on the table saw, the shop's most versatile tool. The last parts I'm going to make for this box are the feet. They are ripped from a piece of half-inch thick walnut with 145-degree edge. Then, using a miter gauge with a stop block, the second 45-degree edge is cut. With that done, you guessed it, break out the sander. Every project needs sanding, but when you're doing machining like this, especially in woods like walnut and cherry that tend to burn, sanding is an even more important task. My advice, start with 60 grit paper and move up through the grits without skipping any. You won't save any time and your results may suffer. That goes with the hand sanding you'll need to do in the cove cut area. I'm sanding my project up to 400 grit. Take the time to do it right and you won't regret it. Gluing this little box together was quite easy. First, I glued the feet to the corners on the bottom. And then I glued and clamped the bottom in place. Lastly, I wiped the surface free of dust to get ready for applying the finish. I've chosen water locks for this project. It pops the grain like tung oil, but protects like a varnish. And in my opinion, with close-grained wood like this, few finishes look better. Apply at least 3 coats, allowing time between them for it to cure. So that's it. I built and shaped this box entirely on the table saw. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe even learned a couple of things. I'm Rob Johnstone from Woodworker's Journal. Keep on making sawdust.